never.
Hi, I'm Nikita.
And I'm Moses.
And you're tuned in to My Prerogative podcast. And today we will be talking about dating younger.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So what's your experience here, Moses?
We talked about this, I think, in maybe a different context in a podcast a long time ago. But for guys,
we haven't been podcasting that long, my God. We haven't been podcasting that long. It's only been a couple of months.
It's been a few months. Yeah, that's a long time.
Is that a couple?
That's a couple podcasts.
That is not a long time.
If we don't do every week. There's at least 14 of these, maybe?
I think on average we do maybe 3.
Like 3 a month?
Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be 12. 12 seems like a good number. 12's a good. That's more than 2 handfuls. That's a lot of podcasts.
That's true. Okay, all right. So a long time ago, way back when.
Yeah, way back when. For guys, it's not too uncommon because I feel like that's just the way most relationships end up just being set up. It's the girl's younger than the guy. So I guess I would say I have a lot of experience in it. But what about you? I know a few things.
So yeah, I was dating a younger guy recently. The last guy I dated was younger. And I've also dated older men. So I guess I have pretty, a good amount of experience in the dating younger and dating older department.
True.
So.
I've done both as well. In fact, I think as I've gotten older, I've started to lean more towards dating older people. Like people my age or older, just because I don't know. I feel like there is a bit of a generational disparity where it's I don't have a lot in common with someone who's 25 anymore. It feels very different now. It's you seem like a whole different set of people now. It's I don't know.
What I will say is from my previous experience of dating a younger guy, I don't want to go back there. I didn't have the best experience of dating younger.
I don't have a rule against it. It's just, I don't know. I can understand that. I don't have a preference, I guess. I don't know which one's better.
I feel like
same
it
age,
stings.
Younger or older.
I feel like it stings a little bit more. It does. It did something to my ego for sure.
I can see that.
Yeah, because it's
Moses, you're not cool enough. You're not old. You're too old.
No, it wasn't even that. And I think I don't know if it kind of fizzled or if I walked away. I don't know. I think maybe I ended it, but I was still significantly hurt by it. Because it's almost like I'm older, so I should have more control. I think that's a control issue, another control issue that I have. I have
an older sibling thing.
Right, yeah. So I should have more control over how this plays out, and I don't think I did in the end. So
I can see that.
Yep. So
I don't know if it would super hurt my ego dating a younger person because like I said, that's just I don't know, a typical dude setup. So it's I don't know. Maybe it would now. I think it might now. I
think it's definitely fun to date younger. I don't know if the relationship should be serious or it should just be a fun experience that you have or you find yourself in. But as far as the maturity level, I definitely felt like it was lacking. The experience, just life experience was lacking. So, I think that was an issue.
I think if I dated someone younger, it depends on the personality. If it's I don't know, a party animal in like their 20s type person. Like I had that phase. I'm not in that phase right now. I'm not trying to do all that. But if it's like, okay, this is like a 20-something-year-old who acts like a 30-year-old, like, you know, I'm just like you're just on the grind, just trying to get up in life. I like that. I like that. There you go.
Yeah. I wonder, like, what the benefit, and this is actually a question that I pulled, the benefit of a younger person dating someone older, right? Because I feel like an older person, depending on the person, may be a little bit more serious, may take less risks because they've already been there, done that. You know, I don't see them being as fun, like, because like when the shoe is on the other foot and I'm looking at it from like I'm older dating a younger person perspective, it's like, oh, this person is more fun, like, you know, I'm keeping up with them as opposed to them keeping up with me, or we can hang out, you know, really late and do crazy stuff, eat crazy foods and stuff like that. And they're not really tripping about it. But I don't understand the benefit from a younger person dating an older person. Like what exactly they get out of it. Is it more just like I'm dating somebody that's more mature, more experienced? And it's like, why would you want to date somebody that's like super serious and like older? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I can only speak from, I guess, what I've heard or what I can maybe speculate. I think maturity was definitely one of it, because it's like, depending on like the age gap, especially, like maturity is one of them, where it's like, okay, like this person's like got it all together, they like know what they're doing, they like kind of like are starting to have life all figured out, and it's like, hey, if I stick with them, it's like, you know, maybe I can figure out some stuff too. You know what I mean? Like it's, I think that's like an aspect of it. I think it's probably like a big one where it's like, I can't describe it too well because I'm not on that mind space. But what about you when you dated someone older when you were younger? Like what attracted you to that person?
I would definitely say the maturity and, you know, just the outside looking in, them having it all figured out. But like when you're in it, it's like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing either. So it's like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like outside looking in, they seem more established. They seem more put together. They seem more sure of themselves. And I think because in any relationship, both parties have to be able to benefit for it to work, for it to come together, right? So I think like from me being younger, dating somebody older, it was, what can you teach me? What can, you know, that's like, what can you give me in that regards? Like, what can you pour into me? And then from like younger, when I think of like a younger man, I mean, an older man dating a younger woman, it's more like what they're getting out of it is like, you know, feeling younger and, you know, having, you know, somebody younger is, I guess, I don't know. Cause when I was looking it up, I was doing some research. They were saying like a lot of older men who date younger women are creepy.
I think it depends how much younger. Yeah.
Okay. Well, how much younger?
So like, let's see, what was the most recent one? Like Dane Cook. You know Dane Cook, the comedian?
Yeah, I do.
So he's like, what is he, 50 now or something? I think he's 50. And I think his girlfriend, or his fiance now, is like 21. So it's like, they've known each other for a bit, so it's like, you met her when like she was like 18 or something. Like, that's weird. Like, if you're like in your 40s with like an 18-year-old, that's weird. That's creepy.
I don't know if it's like, okay, now if you're 18, yeah. But if you're like 21, 22, and you have like some experience, you finish college or, you know, 22, yeah, like 23, 24, and the guy is like 50. What I'm saying is like, what does the older man get out of a relationship like that? If he's 50 and he's dated 25-year-olds, so someone half his age.
So we're trying to describe, we're now peering into the mind of Leonardo DiCaprio. We were describing him perfectly now. If a guy who constantly dates women who are between the ages of 20 and 25, what does he get out of that? Like, wait, that's
Yeah,
just
I mean, I
DiCaprio?
I could see, like feeling younger, feeling like you have this young, hot, tight,
Like, I
attractive
feel
female.
like other than like that has to be like the most obvious one because like at that point it's at that huge of an age difference. It's like yeah, I guess like if I was 50 and I was dating like someone who was 25 or something, it's like yeah, I guess like it would just make me feel still like young and desirable and cool. But at the same time, I don't know what I would talk to this person about.
I mean, I guess you could be like a mentor in the relationship, like give them advice,
like-
and then
That just sounds like work.
so
Sounds
I
like
think that
work.
like that. Yeah, it is work. I think like from that regard isn't creepy though. Like I just feel like that's something like the ego kind of showing itself and prevailing, if you will, right? But I think like on another aspect or another end of it, it could be more like manipulation, kind of taking advantage of somebody with less experience and who may not be as comfortable with saying no. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
could definitely be that. And I don't want this like
there-
conversation to completely go south, but like, what do you think from that regard?
I don't think it's going south. It's just
Not so, but
actually-
I mean like uncomfortable, awkward, stuff like that.
oh,
But
like
You
for
get-
me, or
for
I'm
you,
good.
yeah. Okay.
No, I don't really get awkward.
Okay.
I'll talk about whatever. I'll just choose my words carefully.
So what do you think like from the manipulation,
think
controlling somebody who's
I feel like this is very topical just because I've noticed like people are starting to become more cognizant and have more opinions on age gaps in relationships. And I think one of the reasons is because of that potential aspect of like, okay, like, is this genuine love or is it like manipulation on some extent? Because there is like a difference in perceived dynamic, like with like an old, or like a really like an older person and like a younger person. So it's like, oh, like, what's the relationship like here? Like, what's going on? Is this normal or is this like, should we be looking into this? Like,
it's like blink
'Cause if
twice if you need help.
yeah, like, hey, girl, if you need help, just say something. Because there was another relationship. Have you seen the movie Bullet Train? Came out.
Ooh, I don't really remember it, but I think I've seen it. Some sort of.
Do you know who Aaron Taylor Johnson is?
I have my mini computer. You said, what's the name? Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Yes, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
What about him?
So he's another relationship. It's like the inverse of the Dane Cook one, where the guy is older and the woman is younger. With him, it was the opposite. He's married to a significantly older woman who knew him as a kid growing up, and like got married to him like really like young into his adult life. So it's like, oh, like, what's the dynamic here? Like, this is looking kind of on paper like this looks a little fishy. Like, she knew you growing up. I think she was like she's like an executive. She's like a huge producer in Hollywood. So she like kind of had a control over his career. So it's like, what's the dynamic here? Like, is she like kind of force you into this? Like,
yeah.
blink twice if you need
Yeah.
help. 'Cause,
Shit,
like, she,
and it's like,
controlled,
are
the
you
roles he got.
are you using her? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
But it's like, is he using her? But like, I think it's like a combination of like, if she's older and like the person has like significant power over the other person, it's like, what's going on here? Like, she's like controlling your career. Like, are you good? Like blink twice if you need help.
Yeah, I mean, that could be really, really weird because you may not be happy in a relationship, but if you care deeply about your career, which I'm sure he did or he does, or anybody in this situation would, it's like if you make one wrong step, you know what I mean? Like she could fucking end you.
She
You know
could,
what I
she
mean?
could end
Like,
you.
so it's like, yeah, so I could definitely see like trying to figure out like what's the, you know,
And I think like people seeing lots of more. I think with the age of the internet, people being aware of more relationships like this, it's now making people question like when the age gap is super big. Like, okay, what's the relationship between
what's the
the two
angle?
individuals? What's it like? Like, oh, yeah, basically, like, what's the angle? Like, is there something going on? It could be love. It could be they're both adults. Like, it could just be just a relationship. But like, oh, like, is there something going on here?
I don't know
Like, what are you
because it's
talking about?
like, okay, so I'm 35, so
Mm-hmm.
15 years would be 20. If I'm around a 20-year-old, like I don't even think about him like I would just see him as like I don't know, not even a little brother, like a nephew or something, right? Like
Yeah.
so I wonder like where the spark even comes from in like these types of dynamics. It's like,
I think that's also why people question it. It's like it's not to maybe not like automatically define as creepy. It's not I don't want
common.
to say normal either. It's not common. It's not common.
You know what, too? I think that it could have such a negative connotation behind it because of like what happened back in like the way back when like, you know, the girl would barely like get a period and then they would marry him off to like somebody significantly older. I think, you know, just from society kind of shying away from that. Dating somebody younger was kind of like frowned upon and had like this negative connotation kind of because maybe from the history of dating younger because it wasn't
Yeah.
always for based on genuine love and admiration for the opposite sex or the same sex, you know, history, you know, if we looking back, like it was more of like it was forced, right? So it's like, is this, you know, so or it was what can the family get out of it?
Yeah. So now to to I support the age gap police people, and I support the movement. I do, however, think there are instances where they get a little too crazy, though. Because now I think the internet blows everything out of proportion and exacerbates things. Because now, like, the age gap police will look at almost any age gap and be like, that's weird, what's going on? It's like, okay, wait, let's calm down a little bit. I think it was, who was it? What was the last one I saw? It was like, Barack Obama's daughter is 25 or 26 or something.
Ooh, which one? Sasha or Malia?
I guess like the oldest one. It also blew my mind that that's how old they are. That made
Right.
me feel incredibly old. I was like, I saw them as kids on the stage when he was
Yeah.
elected. You tell me they're full grown adults now? Mm-hmm. But like 25 years old, you're a full grown adult. You can rent a car. You're in the world. If you were in graduate school, you almost have your PhD. You've graduated. You've been out of college for years. You're a real person. Mm-hmm. And apparently, she was dating someone who was like 30 or something. And like the age gap police came out of nowhere. They're like, "What's
That's
going on
5
here?" I'm like,
years though. Like that's nothing.
and that's what
I
people.
think that's
And that's what people like. Wait, what's the cutoff here? You guys have a problem with this? They're both
you know,
adults.
and then too, like I think like a lot of people kind of like criticize or shone a light on Beyonce and Jay-Z because I think the age difference is like 12 years there.
That one's big. It's a big one, and when they met is also kind of funny, kind of
What?
funky. Like, I think
Oh,
he met
'cause
her. I think he met her when she was like 18. Mm-hmm. So like that was a little. that's an eyebrow raise. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, that mean that he was what, like 30?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like at 30,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm looking at you, Moses, like, you're not really, like, I could totally see you dating like a 21-year-old, and it wouldn't be weird for me because, like, you still trying to figure it out. I mean, let's be, you trying to, at this point, the pendulum can swing either way for you, so you trying to figure out which direction you want to go. You still got some milk on your tongue.
This is not the clip I want on Instagram. The way you started that is so wrong.
No, but like seriously though, it's like
I'm looking at you, Moses. Like, what? Is she trying to put me
it's
on?
like, how did I get in this? But yeah, so
right? Well, how did I get?
Well, I don't know if I'm like defending them only because it's like Beyonce and Jay-Z, and I love them. Because, like, if it was my daughter, I don't know, like, how would I feel about that? If she was 18 and she was dating a 30-year-old, I would be like, what the fuck?
Exactly. It's like, Also, I've figured out, Nikita. Calm down. Why you put me on blast? You kind of went in on me.
I know, right? I have to at least once. So do you think that there's a double standard? I know. I got my guard up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there we go. As long as you know.
Yeah. Do you think that there's a double standard in dating young when it comes to male and female?
Yes.
I would say hell yeah. Only because and the reason why I wanted to like talk about this is because like only thing I put in Google was dating young, and it was like all of these articles about women who date young, why women shouldn't date young, why women should date young, and I was like, damn, like what the fuck? I thought this was like a man's thing, and like now it's like coming back on the women because I think more women are dating young in 2022.
I think it's a combination of on one hand, like I have a lot of points. I guess on one hand, like we said earlier, men dating younger, like even whether it's slightly younger, that's like pretty like standard. So like, I don't know if they were. I mean, like with no effort of my own to try to date someone younger, I've dated a lot of people who were a year or two younger than me. Like that just seems to be the way. I don't know, the things were set up. Mm-hmm. So on the other hand, I think there is a double standard because I think men who date really, really younger than them don't have a name for it, whereas women do, and it's like, like, what's a woman who dates young? It's like, that's a cougar,
a milf.
Like, what's a guy that does the same thing? I don't know, a guy.
Is it? Because it's not a sugar daddy though, right?
That's a specific, because that's a specific thing.
Type of relationship.
But like just a guy. Yeah, like because they're being a sugar mama. Like that's a whole different.
Right.
A guy who dates younger doesn't have a name. There's no term for it, as far as I know.
That's fucked up. I didn't even think about that. You are absolutely right.
Because when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, but wait, there's no name for it. It's like, yeah, girl, like literally, the first thing's like, oh, that woman dates younger guys. Well, that's a cougar.
That like, doesn't even sound sexy. Like I do not want to be labeled as a fucking cougar ever.
It's perspective. I think cougar's a fucking sick name.
You think so?
I think it's a cool word, cougar. Like
cougar.
That's kind of sick.
It just sounds old. I don't right. Like what the fuck? Like she gonna pounce like.
If someone walked through at Moses, you're such a cougar. Be like, whoa.
You want somebody to pounce on you, Moses?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Moses is looking for somebody to pounce on.
Where are the cougars at?
So, okay.
Well, but on the other hand, I tried to think of even deeper. It's like, is there a double standard on like how people perceive one as good versus bad? I think sometimes I feel like women dating super young gets a negative connotation, whereas guys sometimes don't. I think they do more now, but I think it is. I think there's a negative double standard that affects women more. I think so. I think guys have it easier because fuck the
Okay,
patriarchy, right?
what's the negative double though? What's the double? Is it
I think there's a negative kind of. I think sometimes women dating younger guys is sometimes shined in a negative light for no particular reason. Like, which is I think the real tell. I don't think there's any particular reason. Because
is
you
it
guys
because
you have
like women are more looked at as like a nurturing being, and so dating young, it's like, you can have a fucking son that age. Well, I mean, men have daughters the same age as their girlfriends. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Maybe
I just feel like
because
guys don't get. I feel like guys just don't get an equal amount of shit for it. I think it's not proportionate. Guys, I think have it easier, which is bullshit. Because there's no practical or objective reason for it. I think it's just I don't know.
what about
Just
like when you hear those stories of like the teenagers, teachers dating like a student, and like from a woman's perspective, they get scrutinized more from like the mothers as opposed to like the dad parents or other like students. I think like the women scrutinize the teacher and it's rape at that point, like they should be. But I feel like even in that case, like if you just take out the age factor, I think it just, I don't know, because then when I hear about like professors or it's just not the same. It's like everybody's like,
Well, I mean,
but
there's a different perspective. I think for the scenario, depending on like the gender assignments. Like if it's a woman professor and like a male student, I think society treats that whole scenario from both ends different. Like, you know what I'm like?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like even when it's if everybody was of age and everybody's in college, like I feel like women scrutinize the female professor more than like anybody else does.
Maybe. I want to research a little bit more because it's like
Because they
okay.
would say like, she's there to teach and she's taking advantage. And then it also, I think it gets exposed more than like, male professors dating students, because I have like not a lot, but I have friends that have dated their professors.
Really?
Or talk about it. Yeah. At least two. Mm-hmm. I mean, I never have, but
You said to throw that in. I never did. Like,
I never
don't know.
have. I mean, I thought about
never-
it, but I'm like,
I've had primarily male professors.
is
So
he
I've never
flirting?
thought-
Is he flirting with me? I can never tell. Like, I wonder how people cross the line there, because like it was weird to me. I'm like, I feel like he's flirting with me, but I can't really tell.
I'm not gonna make the joke I wanted to make. I was gonna say there are lots of movies like this. One particular part of the internet.
Really? Like what?
Oh, well, adult movies. like, so you want the extra credit? You really want to get that A, huh?
How badly do you want that A? Would you like sell your body for a better grade?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I don't care that much. I don't care that much. I'm too nonchalant for that. I'll just retake the class. Say, Moses, you're going to get an F. I'll just try again. I'm chill.
All right.
But then again, I've only,
Go ahead. You said
it
what?
would depend. I've only had male professors. I don't know. I've never had a female professor in college, so the thought has never crossed my mind.
I feel like women professors are like hella older, like close to retirement age. You know, the way they look. You know, I found something else that's interesting. It's a rule of 7 in dating. Have you ever heard of that?
A rule of 7. Mm-hmm. Sounds like a magic spell.
So it's saying so according to this rule, the age of the younger partner, regardless of
I know
gender,
what you're talking about.
should be no less than 7 years than their partner's age. How do you feel about that? Do you think that that's an acceptable age difference?
So my opinion on age gaps is I think it's a fine rule of thumb. I think it changes. I think it changes a little bit the older you get, because like I think once you hit like 30, I think it's okay to date like a 40-year-old or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
I
think the
do.
rule can like, because like once you're like past a certain threshold of being an adult, you're just like, you're just like the rest of us. It's like Moses, like, if I found out you were dating like a 50-year-old, I wouldn't even bat an eye. I'd be like, okay, like probably a cool dude, probably cool guy, I don't know, probably cool.
I don't know. I feel like too, like if we're talking about from 30 to 40 dating, I feel like it does something to me psychologically, because like in my mind, because they're in a completely different age bracket, that they should be able to, like, they should have a little bit extra than I do, and not like even just like materialistic, just like experience, wisdom, things like that. And then like when I actually date them and discover that shit, you might as well be 30. And I don't know if this has to do with like women maturing faster than men, but it kind of like really, I don't know, it does something to me where it almost makes it pointless for me to like date older men, because in my mind they should be able to provide me with more wisdom, have more experience. And then when I actually date them, it's like you just like an older guy and you still act like a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I have the opinion of, especially if I look at my life and just like, or anyone's life in particular, there's definitely a certain point where I realize, like, wait a minute, I thought being an adult was some magical thing, and like, oh my God, something's gonna click and I'll figure it all out. It's like, no, it's just the same Moses driving this body around. It's like, I feel like once you hit a certain point of adulthood, it's like you're not changing drastically anymore. It's like,
You don't think so? I mean, I think the more the older I get, the more I change drastically. Like
maybe
I am not the same person I was at 30. Like right now, I'm 35, and I also learned from researching this topic is like this between the ages of 30 and 39 is like a woman's prime. But I feel like right now, the age that I am right now, I feel the most vibrant that I've ever felt. I feel the most sexiest. I feel the most established. I feel the most put together. I feel the most sure of myself. I feel the most confident. I feel just like I'm still young. I feel, like all of the, like every, like it's so many pros to like being this age. And I do feel like I grow and I evolve like constantly. So now that I know kind of like the formula behind like, developing who I am as a person, mind, body, and spirit, like I do more with that and I evolve more and I grow more.
I guess to clarify more what I meant is like,
yeah, clarify that shit. Let's take that back, Moses.
Well, I'm still sticking by what I said, and I think it's still essentially correct, is that if I look at the developmental stages of like my life, the the super huge broad strokes of character development, of figuring out like who I am and like how to like navigate through life happens a lot earlier. And like the changes I could see happening in my life now that could indicate some like super broad changes would be one, like the navigation and like establishing of like a more stable part of my life, things like that. Like I think, yes, my personality, like who I am to my core, is going to change and grow and become more nuanced as I get older. But like I think essentially it's like the house is built, but I can like rearrange and redecorate the inside of the house. But like the house itself, like once you reach like
The
a certain
foundation.
point of adulthood,
Are you talking about like your cores and values and morals and shit? Like, is that what you mean,
like,
or?
not to make it like too specific, but I just mean like think of it as like I at this point like have a good idea of like who Moses is. I've been with Moses for 3 decades now. Like he's been through a lot, he's changed a lot. He's been up, he's been down, he's rebuilt, he's grown. And it's like I have a good idea of like, okay, in the next 10 years with the wisdom I have, like I think I know what I need to do to like make myself an even better, more stable version of myself. But I don't see myself like in 10 years saying, holy crap, I'm like a whole different person than I was the past 30 years, if that makes sense. I could see it evolving and becoming more nuanced and like more, and like a better version, like, you know, like incremental changes, but like I'm not gonna like change the paint on my house from like black to red or something. Like, oh my God, like a whole different dude. Like I'll probably be the same-ish dude at 40.
I think with that type of mentality, that's why people have like midlife crisis. I think like that's
so.
where the midlife crisis movement comes from, because like people become content with who they are and they think that this is it, right? Like at the core of me, like that's why I said like my morals, values, like that is like my foundation, and I kind of build off of that. But like me as a person, and you know, even just like, you know, my personality may be the same or may change, but just I don't know. I think I change and I try new things. I'm more open-minded, and yeah, you learn and you grow from experience, and you know how to navigate through life, I think, a little bit more easier from the experiences that you have, what you were just describing, kind of like makes the person and builds character and things like that. But like I constantly like change, and I wouldn't mind painting my house a different color, or, you know, adding to it, or, you know, knocking some down and rebuilding. Like, I think that that's fundamental. And I think that that is just a part of life. Like we should be, personally, I prefer to continuously develop and grow and evolve, and not just be so content with like, this is who I am. This is, you know,
it's not contentment with who you are. And I'm not excluding change from happening. I'm just talking about the scale of change. But let's say like your house is built. Let's say I'm not going to change the whole paint job of the outside of my house. Maybe I'll take some pieces out, add pieces in, and like that can seem like a minute change, like to someone else, but like to the owner of the house, like that can change the whole vibe of everything. I'm saying that's the types of changes that's happening as you get older. Like the house is built, but you can still add nuance and interesting variety and growth to yourself by saying, hey, look at this beautiful piece of complex artwork I put on my wall. It changes the whole dynamic of this house. It's not, I didn't like break everything down and rebuild it, but like the house is clearly different, and it's meaningful and interesting to me and other people who come look at it.
That's okay. I like that. I like that perspective. Yeah. I like that. I think, go ahead.
Oh, no. So, yeah, basically just saying, like, I think as I get older, it's like, I know the foundation I built through the hard work of life, I'm at least for me, like maybe I'm not gonna. I think I'm not gonna have a midlife crisis. I'm satisfied with the foundation. Like I like. This.
You don't
If
think
I
you'll
have
have
to
a
change
midlife
it,
crisis?
well, I mean, because like, I think I am one adaptable, but two, like I think having a midlife crisis comes from feeling like something is missing or not fulfilled. Whereas like I feel happy with the me that exists now and whatever body.
Yeah, I mean, and
or-
I'm not saying that you're not. I'm just, I guess when you describe it, I look at it as being content because, like, even when you were just describing it now, like, that makes perfectly good sense. But I think, like, how I envision my life and, like, we're talking about our lives as being like this house, I would look at it as, like, my house is never fully put together until like I'm about to leave. So as I'm growing, I'm like placing bricks, you know, but like, you know, the house isn't established already. Like the house is continuously building and growing year by year and day by day. And I'm adding, you know, little fixtures and things like that. But the house is not established to me. The house won't be established until like I exit Earth,
Till you
and
die.
then that'll be what, however condition it's in. Like when I leave this Earth, like that's the establishment then. But yeah, so I guess we just
two things.
perceive it a little bit different. Go
I
ahead.
feel like two things I want to say is I feel like this is a good insight into like somebody's mind because like it's a easy enough imagery that like you can see like the differences between you and me now where it's like I think especially when you said like oh like sometimes like you're reestablishing it like brick by brick where it's like your house is like where it's like I view like as a finished house already and it's like
Yeah.
I'm changing just the inside.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And it's like I'm constantly building my house. So maybe from the outside looking in my house, like it's like, damn, like get your shit together. You still ain't done with that house, but and you know, I'm not done.
But also it's a good thing. Good thing I plan to live forever. So you know, you're like it's not done till I leave this earth. Like good thing I'm not leaving. Good thing I'm staying here.
Yeah, so
Well, this is
Moses is going to clone himself and just have
Yeah,
more
I'm
Moseses.
not going anywhere. There will be multiple. I will clone myself, but also this Moses, the one up here, is going to stick around too. I'll figure it out.
All right.
Before I leave, I'm figuring it out.
All right, so last question is, who do you think has the short end of the stick, and who do you think has the better deal, the older or the younger party?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I don't know. They both get something out of it, right? So like, I don't know.
But who do you think
I
get more out of it, the older party or the younger party? I would say, I think the younger party, only because what they came in with, I think they get more out of it. And this could go like material things and knowledge and insight and the experience itself. Because a lot of times when someone dates someone older, that's like the first time that they've dated an older partner. As opposed to like somebody older, like that just may be their flavor. Like I like younger women, so so
What
I
you're
think
saying is Nikita's taking your stuff. Nikita, she's leaving with something. She's leaving with something.
there you go.
Actually,
Damn.
saying that is like, yeah, that might be true. My ex-girlfriend left with some of my stuff. Some of my cool stuff. She's like, hey, can I just have that? Like, just leave. Just go. Just take it with you.
go.
Never return. Go and never return.
I don't want to look at that boss and be like, oh, she really liked that boss, and
No, she
I'm
took
gonna
my
throw it away.
computer.
Did she steal it or did she take it? Did she have permission?
She spun a story about how she needed it more than me, and I was like, whatever, just go.
Gullible,
It was a nice one.
Moses.
Like-
Gullible.
I was 23. I was like,
Is
whatever,
that
this isn't
it?
wrong.
Is that all I have to just kind of guilt you into just come
Yeah.
up with a good enough argument to say that I needed more
Yeah.
than you? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
good
that easy.
to know. That's
I'm
good
an easy
to know.
man. I'm an easy man.
That is a really nice to know.
Logical arguments can win me over. Like, you know what? She's making sense. I'm just going to give it to her. Here you go, Nikita. Take this $1,000.
I think the only thing
Oh,
about
please, you
it is you're really smart. So
Exactly. But love is
like-
emotional. She got me with the heart. I was like, just leave. Never come back.
yeah. All right. Well, this was an interesting conversation, I
It
think.
was. Oh, wait. I never even told you the question. Oh, I did tell you. The question my friend brought up. Are there going to be more cougars in the future? Because she brought up that like women date younger men because the older men are more often date younger women. So it's like that makes oh, she's like, wait, guys created like cougars. Like, whoa, no way. And so it's like I thought of like all the cringy alpha male podcasts where they tell you to date really young. It's like I wonder if they're going to be more. I wonder if there could be more older people dating younger people, like in the future as time goes on.
As opposed to like somebody dating within their age range.
Yeah, because literally she would like so
That's
she
interesting.
my friend she's like a nurse. She's like 40 years old, and she's like I can't date anyone my age range because everyone who's my age or older is trying to date someone a lot younger. Than me. So she was like, so I feel like I have to date someone younger than me. And I was like, and like that, I never thought of it that way. I was like, huh. Oh, Nikita doesn't like that. Nikita doesn't like that.
I don't say that. And maybe because I'm not 40, but I mean, I definitely think that it's more prevalent today. And when I say that, I mean like both male and female are dating younger, but I don't see it everywhere. It's still kind of like sporadic.
I guess I'm wondering like if the trend will grow and will it become like a more prevalent thing like 5-10 years down the line or something.
I think it's more accepted.
I wonder.
I think because I did
Podcast
have
again in 10 years.
I did have like someone that I worked with, and she dated someone 10 years younger. So I think she was like 40 and he was just turning 30. But she was like really goofy. So it was just like, you know, at first when I really didn't know her, I was like, that's kind of weird. You know, what does he get out of it? What does she get out of it? But as I got to know her, she was like really goofy. And it's like, you know, she probably would do better with with that 30-year-old as opposed to somebody who was 40 and, you know, is less.
I'm gonna be a goofy 40-year-old for sure.
I think so.
For sure.
So
Like,
what?
see, that's
What does
I
that
mean.
mean?
Like,
So you have to date somebody 20 though when you turn 40.
No, they're goofy 40-year-olds. Wait, you're not gonna be a goofy 40-year-old, Nikita?
I'm not a goofy. I've never been. Well, I'm a little dorky, but I don't think I'm goofy. I'm not goofy. Do you think I'm goofy? I don't think I'm goofy. I don't have a goofy.
Only
I don't
when
have the
you're with
goofy
me.
gene. Well,
Only
yeah,
you're
you
with
bring
me.
it out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make you
Yeah.
goofy. It's like, huh?
But I don't know if I said this, but like when I did date the younger guy, and he was within this 7-year range, but I had a lot of fun though. Like I was able to like fucking kick the shit and joke with him more. It was like not forced. It was.
You're saying you're saying we're gonna become old and jaded.
I hope not.
That's what you just made it sound like. Oh, kick back, relax, and have fun. Like,
No,
not like,
I
damn.
mean, I think like,
What's
you
gonna
know, when
happen
I
to me?
date like guys like my age or like 5 years older or even older, it's like we have more
Shit,
serious conversation and you know what I mean?
How's
Like
your 401k?
just all of that bullshit and like you know, with him it was fun. It was like I had a lot of fun. Like that was probably
No care in the world.
that was like the most fun I've had in a relationship
Those 20
in a
no care in
long
the
time.
world.
No care in the world, but yeah.
No care in the world.
Maybe I should try
You know
another one.
Go for it. If you see me in 10 years and I'm just jaded and serious, just know something went wrong along the way.
Oh shit! What does that mean? That you dated somebody around your age or older?
It just
you said
means,
you date older women.
It just means life took all the fun out of me.
Oh
Like,
no!
How are you? It's like, Nikita, hello. I'm working my Roth IRA. I just finished my taxes. Well, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go eat a salad for lunch and go home to my 3 kids. That's what happened. I had children.
That's what it is. It's like the older you get, you can't eat whatever the fuck you want, and so just from
I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I see it. Life does get
it's
less
like
fun.
when you're younger, you eat whatever the fuck you want, whenever you want it. It's like
Moses, just get a cheeseburger. I can't. It's gonna go straight to my hips.
No, not even that. It's gonna fucking come back up, and I'm gonna have heartburn all night, and I can't get any fucking sleep.
Is this real, Nikita? Is that real?
I'm not there yet, but that's what I hear.
Okay. You can tell me off stream. Tell me off stream.
Gotcha. I got
So
you.
the people don't need to know. The people don't need to know.
All right. Well, that wraps up the topic for today. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Enjoy it. Bada bing, bada boom.
Bye.